Guys, a lot been going on. Can't complain at all. I've been actually here for my members, and my members have been actually seeing me in the membership. So I've been doing a lot of membership uploads for my members. I've been doing a lot of things like that. And generally speaking, I'm not on live this early. I just wanted to go live just to touch base with you. So if you're here, welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. And the question is, why should I buy crypto? This is not financial or investment advice, but the question is, why should I buy crypto? And a lot of people are trying to understand some things. They're trying to understand what's going on in the market. They are been given mixed signals. And upon them being given mixed signals, they're like, okay, look, so we got crypto, we got stocks, we got all these orders coming in. Why should I even invest in crypto? What is the purpose of investing in crypto? And what is the purpose? So, once again, this is Yulon Robert. I generally go live later on, and most people are probably at work and things of that nature. They're probably out and about, and they know me to go on live a little later in the day. Because of that, I know most people are gone. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. But most people ask the question, why should I buy crypto? What is the point? Why should I buy crypto? What is the point of me buying cryptocurrency? And a lot of people don't know why they should buy crypto. A lot of people don't understand what's the purpose. Welcome in, welcome in. What is the point of me buying cryptocurrency? What's even the point anyway? In my opinion, not financial investment advice, but the point and the reason why you should buy cryptocurrency, my opinion, okay, is this. Ask yourself this question. In your personal savings account, what percentage are you getting in your personal savings? Ask yourself that question, number one. Number two, as it relates to anything, welcome in, welcome in, salute, salute, salute. Another thing you got to ask yourself is, are you actually, welcome in, are you actually, Briggs, welcome in, are you actually getting a better return of your investment somewhere else? So you got to understand when it comes to a lot of things. First off, I always say this is not financial investment advice. If you're coming in, go ahead and hit that like button, by the way, even the Bush people, as I call them. But you got to understand a couple of things. When you're looking at cryptocurrency, you're asking yourself, you're probably saying, well, I don't understand it. And most people, they say a confused mind, welcome in, does nothing. A confused mind does nothing. And because we're in a situation or scenario in which we are living in a new norm, we're living in a situation in which things change so quickly. Things change so quickly. And because things change so quickly, we don't know what we should do. There's a lot of things that's changing. We look at things and we're like, what's really going on? We turn around and we look at some things and we're like, okay, this happened today. And so yesterday, this happened. This happened yesterday. And now this is happening. And we don't understand all the details of what's going on. We don't understand every single thing and how we should move forward because so many things are hitting us differently. So many things are hitting us differently. And we're trying to figure out how to change some things and some settings. We're trying to figure out what's going on. So we're asking ourselves, why should I buy crypto? And a lot of us, if you've heard me more than once, welcome in, welcome in. If you heard me more than once, why should I buy crypto? You're probably asking that question. You're probably typing in Google, why should I buy crypto? You're probably asking how to buy crypto. You're probably asking, is crypto a scam? Those are the things you're probably asking to find me, right? You're probably asking those questions. And I remember when I first started to invest in crypto, this is not financial investment advice, but I remember trying to find something that was going to be honest. Nelly, what's up? What's up? What's up? Trying to find something that someone who was going to be real with me, trying to find some information, and it seemed like everyone was out for self. And I remember going through the struggle bus, as you call it, to looking at this and looking at that and doing everything that you need. You know what I'm saying? So I remember those things. So as it pertains to anything, hey Jaden, how you doing? As it pertains to anything, I remember being in a situation where definitely wondering, is this a scam? Yeah, and most people are wondering, is crypto a scam? Most people are wondering that. But let me ask you a question. Let's say you work for someone else, right? You go in, you clock in for them. Loving me, Tracy Anderson. Good morning from Vegas. What's up? You go in, you clock in, you give them your time. Some people work part time under 35 hours. Some people work full time over 40 hours, and you constantly working. And they tell you, hey, we don't need you anymore. And then you have to go through the cycle again. That seems to me like it's a scam. A scam is when you actually are doing all that you can do not to get ahead. And for me, I'm like this. Look, number one, when it comes to technology, I remember when they came out with the first cell phone. I was actually in the cellular industry. And me being in the cellular industry, I found out that as people were transitioning a lot of things in technology, they were on the back cusp of technology. And what I also found out is that as people were trying to figure out, was cell phones just a fad or is it going to be in and out? I found out that a lot of people started to migrate to cell phones, and because I was in the cellular industry, a lot of people were very mindful trying to figure out, okay, what really is this? What is this device? What can it do for me? And then explaining things, I feel I felt that I was liberating people by helping them make a decision. Because let's face it, there's not really a lot of payphones out there anymore. Now there are some payphones out there, in certain parts of the country there may be payphones, but in the U.S., if you find a payphone, you may not want to stop there. I'm just going to keep it real. In the U.S., if you find a payphone, you might want to keep going. But everyone's wondering, is crypto a scam? And here's the thing when it comes to technology. Remember when we had Blu-ray players, right? And then they went from DVD to Blu-ray, and then from tapes to DVDs, right? Consume, how you doing? Consume the goodness. And we went from all these other plateaus of what was going on, and unfortunately, most people don't have their DVD player. Some people don't even have their VHS-C player anymore. We don't have it because it's a situation in which that technology no longer works. So here's the thing about technology. Either we're going to be a early adapter, means we get it, and a lot of people are early adapters. They get it. I believe I was a mid adapter when it came to crypto. And a mid adapter is people who are trying to figure it out. And right now we're really in the mid adapter stage. I was really an early/mid on the early side, but on the mid side. But I believe we're on the early stage of crypto right now because there's a lot of things that are going on as it relates to changing of the guard, a lot of things that are going on as it relates to how we got things going on in the market, as it relates to how we are seeing crypto. Now, this is not anything about financial investment advice. Thank you for the thumbs up. And exactly. And Briggs, I was literally about to go into that. You really took the words of what I was about to say. And I appreciate that. Literally, we're going to a change in the guard where there's more transparency being, put out there. Now, this is not about who you voted for or who you like. This is not about nothing like that. This is about what's going on in the market. This is about how you can benefit from the changing of the guard and how we can stop trying to figure out everything else. Because a lot of times we be all hurt by our candidate not winning, and this person won and this person didn't win. And if you're with this person, you're not with that. I'm going to be real with you. When it comes down to it, it does not matter who wins unless you take action of what the other party's saying. Meaning, if one party's saying, hey, I like EV cars and I'm doing this. If you're not resetting your money to shift in that manner, you're going to be left behind. Because you got to understand, no matter who wins, they have people who put money behind their campaign, and those people are going to benefit from that thing. You got to understand, I went to private school most of my life until I got to high school because it was my choice. But you got to understand, a lot of wealthy people don't put their kids in different schools and public schools. I'm just going to be real. We go to private schools. And a lot of people, no matter if you're a governor, senator, we all go to the same schools. I'm just going to keep it real for the most part, or they get private tutoring. So you have to understand when things happen, we're enjoying each other. We're having fun, but it's business as usual when it's away from the golf course. It's business as usual when those cameras turn on. But Behind the camera, it's all jokes and laughs. So you have to understand what goes on behind the scenes. Now, understanding that regulation will happen. President Trump said, I'm going to give you a secret, regardless if you like him or not. He said, hey, I'm going to make the U.S. the crypto capital of the world. He said that. He said, I'm going to make the U.S. the crypto capital of the world. He said that, and a lot of us got to understand some things. We got to understand either we're going to be left behind or we're going to move forward. And if he told you, if you liked him or not, if you voted for him or not, if he said this is what he's going to do, as you've been saying, he said he's going to do what he's going to do. He's been doing what he said he was going to do. So as it relates to that, instead of getting hurt about all these other things, because a lot of things happen no matter what administration to shift our focus. And as our focus is shifting, we're looking at all this stuff and we're looking at television, tell a lie to cloud our vision, tell lie vision, tell a lie to cloud our vision. We're looking at television and all these things are happening to put blinders on what we really need to see. So we don't realize what is true and what is false because all these things happen. So now regulations and things like that are beginning to shift in the crypto industry. As you notice, they signed some things to say Bitcoin, making Bitcoin a strategic reserve. And the U.S. has over 200,000 Bitcoin in mint that they have. Now they, see some Bitcoin and things of that nature, but they still have over 200,000 in Bitcoin, 200,000, not dollars, 200,000 Bitcoin. So understand this. Michael Saylor has over 44 to 45 billion. Hey, living M&T, I appreciate you all. They have over 40. He has over 45 million in Bitcoin. You got to understand when powerful people make powerful moves, either we're going to be left behind or we're going to get forward. And unfortunately, if we're not going to be forward thinkers, we're going to be left behind. Here's the thing. Egg prices happen. I didn't feel anything with egg prices because I don't eat eggs. I don't care nothing about eggs. I don't eat that. Now, no shade for people who do, but everybody's talking about eggs. I said, what are you talking about? Oh, egg prices are so high. I said, I didn't notice. Why? Because first of all, I don't eat eggs. But secondly, I had a conversation with my sister when the dollar store transitioned. The dollar store went from $1. How many people remember that? If you remember that when the dollar store used to be $1, if you remember that, say me or say I do. I remember the dollar store went from $1, right? It was $1 and then it went from $1.25. And I posted in my sister's comments. I said, yeah, if it's going up 25%, how much is everything else going to go up? And people were just beating me up in the comments. I mean, they tore my head off on the comments, literally upset. Why are you being negative and why are you doing this? And I said, look, it's economics. It's supply and demand. If they got to go up 25%, what else is going to happen? And we saw the shift of everything happening. You got to understand, like my grandma would say, baby, if you keep living, you're going to find out. Understand, if we keep living, we're going to find out. So here's the thing. How many people thought Amazon was a scam until they got Amazon packages at their doorstep, until their neighbor had the Amazon truck, until you look outside or you're going home and you see the Amazon truck passing on by? How many people thought Redbox was a scam? The people say, yeah, I got that Redbox. Remember back in the days, you used to put your card information in and they used to give you a DVD. Remember those days? When it comes to technology, you're either a early adapter, a late adapter, or a mid adapter. I was a little early / mid adapters, but a late adapter is going to be the last person to get something. Now, here's the thing about crypto that I love. Yes, Bitcoin right now fluctuates, but if you look on my shorts, I have a video when Bitcoin was under 30,000 and I was at a gas station and I said, hey, look, if they got Bitcoin, I literally said, if they're selling Bitcoin here, they know something you don't know. That means something's about to happen. This is not financial or investment advice. Understand that things shift, things happen, but the unfortunate situation with us is we're the last people to know what's going on. Why should I invest in cryptocurrency? Well, if you're tired of your savings account being low, then you should, take a little bit and do what you got to do. Now, I'm not saying Everyone should have a emergency fund. To me, that's important. You should have something. Everyone should, have, something just in case. That's a no-brainer to me as it pertains to that subject. Because a lot of people say, "Hey, you learn. Well, what about an emergency?" That's common sense. That's like saying, should you put gas in your car or should you charge up your car if you have electric? That's common sense. So there's no way to argue those points. However, Emmanuel is speaking M&T. However, when it comes down to it, the question that you must ask first is, should I do what I got to do? Should I take a leave? Because here's the thing. Here's the real thing. One thing I found out, that if you don't make a decision, they're going to make a decision for you. Think about it. I remember going to the bank, and I used to have to wait in line to cash my check, waiting in line, cashing the check. If you didn't have that slip wrote out on a Friday, they were making you come inside to get a slip. Remember those days? They was making you come inside to get a slip. You got a slip to literally go cash a check. Do you want to put this in your account? You literally, with everybody else trying to cash a check, and you irritated. Jobs start saying, hey, you know what? We got direct deposit. No longer will you have to stand in these crazy lines and do this. So guess what people started doing? They started going ahead and doing the direct deposit, right? You can you remember that? Can you remember that? They started going and doing that direct deposit because it was easier for the person, right? Now, here's one thing I found out. The bank lines are no longer as crowded as it used to be. One thing I found out is no matter how we felt about it, some jobs won't let you do a regular check. You got to get direct deposit. So here's the thing. Don't be caught in the last cycle of M&T is speaking, Emmanuel. Don't be caught in the last cycle of being a late adapter. Because here's what happens to early adapters. Early adapters, that's the people you saw, they spent $5 on this coin and they worth 100 million or 5 million, not financial investment advice. Early adapters, mid adapters, this is what had happened was, some people are multimillionaires, 100,000aires just for investing in some type of crypto. You know what I'm saying? Life-changing money because they took a step of faith. Now, late adapters, here's why I say most of you all are mid adapters, because less than 20% of the US is into cryptocurrency right now. Less than 20% of the world is in crypto. So I want you to break it down like a fraction. So let's just say 20%. I'm just going to give it 20% in the US. Let's say the US have 400 million people, just for math quick sake, right? 400 million people, 20% is 80 million people that are in crypto based upon that math. There's 8 billion people in the planet, right? So that means 800,000 people, 1.6 billion people or whatever is in crypto. Let's round it up, right? Let's round it up, right? Let's round it. Actually, 800,000, yeah, about 2 billion people. Let's just round it up to 2 billion, just for argument's sake. 2 billion people in the world is in crypto. Less than 2 billion people. It's 8 billion people there. Less than 80 million people in the U.S. It's really 35 million people in the U.S. So that's 70 million at 20%. It's less than 20% of the people are in crypto. So those are the mid adapters, right? You could potentially be a mid adapter. Some of you saying, you learn, Robert, well, I don't have $86,000 to put into Bitcoin. I'm not going to do that. Well, here's the good thing. What's $87,509.03? Here's the good thing. You can buy what's called Satoshis, tiny fractions of Bitcoin that allow you the opportunity to buy it. Now, you're probably asking yourself, well, I still think it's a scam. Well, you know what? What was funny was I was having a conversation with my dad long ago. I was having a conversation with my dad, and we had a conversation, and, I was telling him about crypto way back when, a long time ago. And, he was saying, hey, Robert, what do you think about crypto? And I was telling him, what I thought. Now, his buddy was like, yeah, I invest in crypto, So me and his buddy, was real cool because we were able to talk about some things. And my dad got tired of being out of the conversation. Now, my father and mother invested a lot in stocks, so they know stocks heavily. You know what I'm saying? But crypto, that was something new. So they was like, I don't know about that. So we started having this conversation. My dad, called me a couple weeks later and said, hey, Robert. I said, what's up, Pops? He said, I got Bitcoin. And I just bust out laughing. I thought it was so funny. I thought it was hilarious. I was like, what? I said, well, where'd you buy it at? And when he told me this, I said, huh? He said, I bought it on Cash App. I was like, huh? No, I ain't know where you bought it. He said, no, I bought it on Cash App. And I was like, for real? He said, yeah, I bought it on Cash App. I said, oh, that's cool. I didn't even know they had Bitcoin. So I said, I thought, you bought it. I know TD Ameritrade didn't have it at the time. I know E-Trade didn't have it at the time. So I was like, well, I thought you bought it on Robinhood. He said, well, no, I never set up the Robinhood because I got the other accounts. Never set up the Robinhood, but, this is easier for me. That was easier for me just to click that button. I said, okay, that's pretty cool. So let me explain this to you. My dad is in his 60s, right? Now, I get another phone call. My uncle in his 70s purchased Bitcoin. Now, he purchased through Cash App. And I was like, that's funny. He said, yeah, your dad told me about it. Now, here's the thing. I went on Cash App and I said, you know what? Let me purchase $20. In 2020, I purchased $20.20 of Bitcoin. At Bitcoin's high of 109,000, it was like almost $160 for one the $20.20 that I invested in Bitcoin on Cash App. Now, of course, I have more than that, other platforms, but that was just me to be able to gauge and show people what $20.20 could have did. And I did it in 2020. That's when my transaction was $20.20. So you asked me the question, okay? That's 5 years ago. So let's just round, just for math's sake, quick math, $20. You put $20 in your account, right? At the average interest rate most people get, not even 1/4%. The average interest rate most people get is not even 1/4%. So I found out that, you're not even getting 2 cents on your money. You might have 8 to 10 cents at $20 in 5 years. Let that sink in. So based on the math, and let the math be math and not financial investment advice, but based on that math, I literally 5 times the value of my resources at the top of Bitcoin. Even now, it's at least 4 to 5 times my resources. So it would literally take you 2,000 plus years to get that return of investment. Your great grandkids are like, you know what? I remember. Thank you so much for letting them, they gave me $20. And I was able to get that stick of bubble gum now because inflation gonna be that high. I was able to get that one piece of bubble gum to remind me of the old days, the good old days, as they would say. You know what I'm saying? The good old days. You know what I'm saying? So here's the question. A scam is working all your life only to have enough money to survive. Working all your life to have to work some more because you can't pay your bills. Working all the time so that you can't do what you need to do. That's, to me, is a scam. I'm not trying to sell y'all nothing. Only thing I'm trying to do is tell you about what's going on. I'm trying to tell you about what happened. I was literally shouting from the rooftops when it was under $30,000. Had a buddy of mine call me. He said, Robert, how much Bitcoin did you buy? And I looked at him and laughed. I said, why would I tell you that? Come on, really? And he said, I remember you was telling me about Bitcoin when it was under $8,000. And I said, oh, okay. Because I didn't know where he was going with the conversation. He said, I wish I would have bought it. I said, well, let me explain this to you. I'm still buying it. Why? Because I understand if Michael Saylor is a billionaire and he's still buying Bitcoin and he has a certain amount of funds, over 40 something plus 45 billion dollars in Bitcoin. Who am I who are not a billionaire yet? I want to be a billionaire one day. I'm going to be a billionaire one day. So what I'm saying to you is, who am I to say, I don't know about that? Look, when you don't understand what's going on, you follow the trends and you see what's going to happen. Now, is the Bitcoin the end all be all? No, because my members can tell you in the membership, XRP was under 30 cents, 30 to 35 cents. I called XRP in the group. I said it's not financial investment advice. XRP was over $2.50. Now it pulled back a little bit. Is that a scam? No. HBAR was another thing I called in the membership before it ran. Was that a scam? No. I'm just keeping it a buck with, keeping it real. Bitcoin is what I call. Was that a scam? No. I called a couple other cryptos. Was that a scam? No. Not financial investment advice. See, here's the thing. Unfortunately, we're so programmed to look at all this stuff. Money, and I literally had a $10 bill sitting here. It's over there. I don't feel like getting it. $10 just sitting there. Ain't making no interest, and it's not growing. It's just sitting there. I don't carry cash. Why? Because I order stuff online. I don't really, I go places and you got the tap and you got all this stuff. You don't really need to carry cash, maybe $20 for an emergency. You know what I'm saying? But here's the thing. People say, well, things happen and things gonna happen. And what if this happens? If this happens, it's a lot of other ifs and this and buts and wins that you got to worry about. Your cash ain't going to be invaluable. It's going to be invaluable. I remember seeing, I think it was in Argentina, they had piles of cash and they were burning cash because their cash was no longer valued. Their cash was worthless. Their cash was nothing. Their cash was nothing. Oh, you learn, well, what do you think about gold and silver? I own gold and silver. I like gold and silver. I don't have a problem with it. I think it's a hedge against inflation, not financial or investment advice. I think everybody should have some. But you learn, you said everybody should have an emergency fund. Exactly. You should have an emergency fund. I'm not arguing that. You learn, well, you talk about stocks too. I have stocks as well. What I'm saying is when I see a shift, anybody in here know how to drive a manual shift car? Or anybody remember? I can remember when I learned how to drive a manual shift car, and I can remember, my grandmother. She stayed up a big hill. It was a big. I'm talking about the hill is like an incline like this. I mean, that hill is very, very high. And I remember having, my uncle. And he said, man, when are you going to learn how to drive that car? Because I had the car at my grandmother's house because I didn't know how to drive it home. I had bought the car and I told the person to just drop it off in my grandma's house. That I didn't want to block it in the driveway in my house because I didn't know how to move it. So I was like, yeah, take it to my grandma's house. So they parked the car at my grandma's house, right? And my uncle's like, when you going to drive this car, Robert? I said, I don't know how to drive it. He said, you going to learn today? I said, okay, all right. So he got in the car and we got in. He drove up the hill and then he stopped, put an emergency brake on. I said, okay, what you doing? He said, he got out. He said, I drive back to grandma's house. And I said, what? He said, you going to drive here? This car going to stay here. So I was, driving and, what's the best crypto invest in right now? Hold on 1 second, Echoes. See, here's the thing. We are building a skyscraper. We're not building a shack. We're not building something quick. See, a lot of people are in a microwave mentality where they want a quick word, a quick answer, something quick so they can go after it. But if you don't understand the process, you learned on the hill that made you exactly consume the goodness. When I'm saying I was literally on the hill, right? Now, I'm going to answer that in a minute, Cosmic. Okay, so but I was on the hill, you know what I'm saying? And I was literally, so I was like, bump this. People was coming behind me at my grandma's house. And when my grandmother stays in the country, everybody knows everybody. So they were looking like beep, beep. And I was like, putting my hand out, go around. And they said, Robert, that's you? I said, yes, sir. Robert, is that you? Yes, ma'am. What's going on with your car? Oh, it's the stick. And then my uncle said, yeah, I got him learning how to drive a stick. So I'm like, they like, okay, you need some help. Don't help the boy, keep going. So they driving past me. So I said, you know what, forget this. I'm going to be slick. I put it in neutral and I rolled down the hill. And then I figured out how to turn it around. And my uncle said, okay, so you're smart now. Now go down the other road. Now you go the other way. It's a big old curves everywhere. So I'm there going around the curve. I get stuck because cars coming around. I pull off in the grass. My uncle come around walking and he said, you stuck, ain't you? He said, I'll see you when I get back. And he walked back. He said, you'll figure it out. So I figured out how to get him first. And it was pulling. And I figured out how to shift it, right? I figured out how to shift it. I figured out how to get to the next level. Oh, I was hitting second. I was hitting third. I got to the hill. Man, I was shaking again. And I kept doing it over and over and over again until I was able to get to that next level and I was able to shift the gears quicker. Now, somebody asked, what is the best crypto to invest in right now? Now, here's the sad reality, Echoes. The sad reality is everybody's budget is different. My personal beliefs is Bitcoin should be everybody's base crypto. And the reason why is because if the U.S. is saying we're going to make the Bitcoin the crypto capital of the world, other countries have adopted Bitcoin as their only currency. That means If we're not adapted to it, that means we're going to be able to see massive growth into Bitcoin. Now, there's a young lady by the name of Kathy Wood, and she's thinking that Bitcoin can go to 1.5 million. And then she shifted her mindset to say, oh, it could go to 2 million. And then somebody said with quantitative easing and things of that nature, Bitcoin should go to about 800,000 to a million. My target range, if they're up there, I'm targeting about 100,000 to 380,000. Not financial investment advice. I got you right there. Now you can tell us about yourself and why you talk about crypto. See, when I was on that hill, I felt like, I didn't know how it was going to work. And some of you all feel like and felt like you don't know how it's going to work. Some of you all felt like and feel like that crypto is a scam. So you want to know about me? This is about you. You know what I'm saying? This is about me. I'm just a guy who want to help you learn and grow. Literally, I can talk about me all day, but talking about me is not going to help you. Talking about me is not going to help you get to the next level. I'm over here for you. And you know what I found out? I found out that if I talk to more people about them, they're going to be okay. Because it's not about me. I can tell you I got X amount of dollars in this and X amount of dollars, but that's not going to help you, because the whole point is, how is that going to help you? Well, it might inspire some. Some might say, oh, if he can do it, I can do it. But some are going to say, you know what? You learn, I don't know if I can amass that. I don't know if I have the budget for that. So here's the thing. The only thing that we can do as a person, the only thing we can do is say either we're going to do it or we're not going to do it. Because either we're going to adapt to what's going to happen. Just like I said earlier, I'm not sure at what point, Cosmic, what point you came in. I'm not sure when you came in, but I was talking about how technology has shifted. And I keep talking about the shift in technology because it's something that we've all dealt with. I'm talking about that type of situation. And as it pertains to anything, are we going to shift with technology? I remember, where I was wanting a pedometer. And that's the thing that you put on the side of your waist or you clip it on your jacket to show your steps. I like how you tied the driving story into what you're doing here. Analogies are so great. Love them. And thank you for sharing the knowledge. No, I appreciate you, Consumer Goodness. I appreciate each and every one of you coming in. And I definitely understand what you're saying. And I just want to help you all. You know what I'm saying? Not financial investment advice, but the thing is, so many people are out here to get your resources. And I'm trying to warn you, there will be an economic shift. And I've said it in my lives a year ago. I said that the world was in a recession. I said that a year ago in my lives. I said it in some of my shorts. I said that before. And I said, in the midst of chaos, you have to turn that chaos into triumph. See, firefighters run towards the fire, right? They run towards the fire. Everybody else runs away. So while nobody's really talking about crypto, you see it lightly, and crypto has pulled back a little bit. As Warren Buffett said, when everybody's running towards something, you run away. And when everybody's running away, you run towards. But here's the thing about something. Do you know that Blockbuster, one of my favorite places to go as a kid, there's only one Blockbuster in the United States, and that was a legacy-owned store. And they just keep it open for nostalgia. Only one open. Do you know Blockbuster could have bought Redbox? Do you know Redbox came to Blockbuster and they was like, buy us? It was like 3.5 billion, something cheap, something light for Blockbuster. And they laughed at them like, nah, nobody would ever do that. And then, you know what's crazy about it? Blockbuster went out of business and Netflix had its rise. You know what's sad about that, though? Redbox had its rise. But you know what's sad about all that? As cool as the Redbox was, where are they now? They're no longer here. I haven't seen a Redbox. I think they filed for bankruptcy. Why? Because Netflix came aboard. Hulu came aboard. Disney Plus came aboard. All these other streaming digital platforms came above. Do you see the difference? There's a lot of streaming aspects. Yeah, exactly. I used to love it as a kid. I'm talking about that 2 for 10, 4 for 20, and then you get a popcorn. Man, I remember those days. But here's the question for you. Why is everybody going digital? Why is everybody going streaming? Ask yourself that question. Because that's where the world is shifting to. No longer. Think about it. Somebody was talking about an Aldi had a self-checkout. And if you don't know what an Aldi is, it's like a grocery store. I went to the dollar store, and the dollar store in my area is at the lake. And the dollar store at the lake has a self-checkout. I said, what? I asked the lady, I said, when are we doing this? And she said, yeah, they shifted to it. Hey, Neil, how you doing? How you doing, Sadie? Welcome in. They shifted to the actual self-checkout. And I was like, what? When do we start doing this? When do we start? See, you got to understand, when you want to know where the world is going, you look elsewhere to see what technology they have, and that's going to migrate. I remember being in middle school. And I remember in middle school, they had vending machines in China that you can actually use your debit card for. And I thought it was so cool in middle school. We didn't get that technology here until after I graduated high school and college areas. You know what I'm saying? So you got to understand, they got robots walking out right now. They got self-checkouts right now. They got places where you have to scan your ID to get into the alcohol section. Now, I don't drink, so I don't care nothing about that. You know, but you got to scan your ID, and then the cooler will unlock to see if you're old enough to get alcohol, which I think they should have anyway. They got places where you got to scan your ID to come inside to shop, and it's a digital basket. That means they don't need people. So here's the question. Can you afford not to make a shift in your mindset? Can you afford to be a late adapter? Can you afford? One thing I found out is I'm not going to be caught on the last end of technology. I'm going to be an early adapter. I'm not going to be, well, mid adapter now. I'm not going to be a late adapter. Because here's the thing. When I was an early adapter in cell phones, guess what? Guess what? Guess what? Guess what? Guess what? Exactly. A good 2 hours. Exactly. When I was an early adapter in cellular, right? Guess what happened? I was number one. I worked in the call center. Guess what happened? I said, don't sit me with nobody who don't know what they're talking about. Sit me with the person who's making money. Sit me with the person who know what they're talking about. I sat with that person and I saw what they did. I said, okay, sit me with another person. They sit me with another person. And this was during training. I said, sit me with that person. I want to sit with that guy right there. And, you know, the guy was over here standing up. I said, I can tell he making money. Sit me with that person. I got on the floor. They was mad at me because I waxed them. Aloha, aloha, aloha. What's up, what's up, what's up? So I waxed them. I literally waxed them. Yeah, I got ads on the video. Yeah, I monetized. Thank you. But I waxed them. What I mean by waxed, I got on the floor and they was like, how did this dude become number one? Good morning. Because I took the flavoring of this person. I took the flavoring of that person. I took the flavoring of that person and I made it my own. And guess what? I became number one in the call center. And then you know what? I got bored in the call center. I was number one. I kept beating everybody in the call center, over thousands of employees. I was number one, got tired. I had to, you know, we had a big old parking lot. It would take a long time for you to walk down to get to your car. I got tired of having my own parking spot. Yeah, I said it. I literally was walking in. I could literally drive up. That was my spot because whoever got number one had the first parking spot where you can drive up, get out, walk. If not, it's going to take you 10 minutes to get to the door. Yeah. That was my motivation. I want that parking spot so I can drive in and walk in. I got tired of that. So I moved to the actual store. Somebody said, we want to know about you. So if you're still here, Cosmic, you're learning. I got tired of the store, right? Excuse me, got tired of the call center, so I went to the store. I said, okay, show me this. Show me that. Now, I already had the knowledge and power of the call center, so I already knew how to navigate certain things. So I said, show me how you did this. Show me how you did this. Who's making the most money? Now I became number one in the store. Why? Because I knew what I was doing, but I was an early adapter. I would go to the mall and hand out my cell phone number on a business card, hand out my card. I would literally go to the mall. Here's a card. Go to the mall. Here you go. Handing out my business card. People would ask. I'd be literally in the mall when people, you know, didn't know really cell phones were new. So people was like, hey, what you got? Oh, you talking to yourself? No. Had a cell phone. Oh, that's pretty cool. Here's a card. Literally. Hey, here's a couple cards. And literally I had lines of people. They would come in, the host would type in their name and it would show on the screen who they were there for. And people were like, hey, I can help you there. No, I'm here waiting on Robert. They were waiting on Robert. Why? Because Robert did the things he needed to do to get the results he had to get. Do you see what I'm saying? So I passed out my card, and people was asking, had team meetings, Robert, what's going on? What are you doing differently? Tell us some of your wins. Just going to the mall. I'm handing out my card. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. Oh, okay. I'm giving them multiple cards. I'm telling them. I'm calling, following up to see how's everything been going with their phone. Anything that I can help them with. Call me anytime. Literally, on my days off, I would come in and sell cell phones. Or if I had met my quota and it was just nothing but commission, if I was just out, out at the beach or something like that, I would literally say, hey, go to blah, blah, blah. They'll help you. They're a good rep. Hey, I would call them, hey, so-and-so's going to look for you. They coming for me, treat them right. And then I would tell them to call me and report what was going on afterwards. So you got to understand what made that different, because I was an early adapter to the cell phone technology, and I put my information out there to get ahead of the crowd. Now everybody knew me. And where I stayed, everybody knew, to the point where when I was at my church, it was a mega ministry, and everybody knew the cell phone dude. If you had a problem with a cell phone, talk to Robert. I could literally diagnose the problem, get everything done. Hey, we can't do it here. Hey, come to me at the office. Here's my card. Come holler at me. And literally, how many people at the church had a phone because of me? Do you see what I'm saying? So understand, when you are adapting, what I found out, that if you get ahead of technology, you don't have to chase it. It's like somebody going into, a store right now, going into Best Buy. I'm just going to use Best Buy because I'm sure Best Buy is all over, right? Going into Best Buy, asking them for an 8-track tape player. Hey, I'm looking for that Superfly album, 8-track, and I'm looking for the new 8-track disc. And they're looking like, what? Superfly? Some of them kids probably look at you like, huh? Super who? 8-track what? You know what I found out, though? I found out that if you sit up there and put yourself in a position, you do the work now, you don't have to work later, right? Yeah, exactly, M&T. Literally, they'd be like, super who? Huh? Huh? What? Everything's digital. I remember in middle school, I was in middle school. Now, in middle school, I was in private school. Science teacher. He said, now, if you're watching this, I got, some of the people I used to go to school with stuff to watch me. Hey, if you're watching this, I appreciate you. He would look, there's this magazine he would pull open. And it had nothing to do with science, but I like when he read the magazine because it was about technology. And he said, you know what? At the time, he said, they got a device that is coming out. And you'll be able to have little coins. And I'm looking for a coin. Yeah, here we go. I'm looking for a coin. So I got a silver coin, right? I'm about to take it out of his sleeve just to show you. So he held up a dime. Now this is silver, right? He held up a dime and he said, you'll be able to put music on these. And we were like, oh, that's cool. So remember, we had a big old tape. We had tapes and then we had CDs, right? So we was like, oh. And we was like, oh, he said, yes. He pulled out a dime out of his pocket. You'll be able to put X amount of songs on this. We was like, oh my goodness. Yeah, and it'll be a player that you can stick down in something and close it like a CD player, and you'll be able to play the music. We was like, oh, that's gonna be cool. But I remember Apple came out. And it was Apple who was talking about that before they came out with their first iPod. And I remember that iPod came out, and I remember everybody's like, oh, you can put what? How many songs in the what? Do you think how the shift of technology? Remember, think about it. We used to have to go home and hear, you've got mail, for us, all that crazy staticky noise in order for us to get an email. Remember those days? Remember you had to stop at the payphone? Remember, you had to stop at the payphone because somebody's hitting you on your pager, right? You know what I found out? You're not going to Best Buy asking for a pager no more. Now, I think they got pagers, but I don't think they're very popular anymore. And some of y'all who are watching in the bushes may not understand what a pager is because y'all are younger. But I remember that. Understand. Please hit the thumbs up. I appreciate that, M&T. I appreciate that. But here's the thing. You couldn't wait to get an email. Exactly. And then you heard that you've got mail. You said, oh, I got mail. I got mail. I remember growing up and my parents told me, I can remember my parents said, I'm tired of all these people calling the house. Now, I'm just going to keep it real. I ain't going to go there. A lot of people was calling the house. We're just going to leave it like that. Okay. And I can remember me getting my own line, right? And I got my own phone line. And my parents was like, hey, when you get your own line, you can make the own rules, right? And my grade starts slipping. And my dad, I came home, got the report card, and my phone was out of my room. I said, now I paid for my own line. And there wasn't no ring back tone where you could pay for just the ring. I had my own line. They came in, put my own separate line and my own thing. My husband and I was dating during the pager time. And once we got married, we got so exactly. But I remember the own second line. And they came in, people came in, put the line in. So my dad and mom had their line, I had my line. But I came in and didn't see, I had a cordless phone. Now, remember we had that big long wire, right? That you walk through the house. Now we had, 5 bedrooms, office, lived on the lake, big old deck. So I had two, like 100-foot cord, and I had a little connector and another 100-foot. So I had 200 feet that I would walk around the house with, right? And then I walk around the house, do what I got to do. Before I got the actual, phone that you didn't have where you had the battery. So it came with 2. So I got rid of those, long cords, and then I had that, right? I remember I came home, and, I felt like the world was over. When I came home and didn't see my phone in the room, because I was expecting some phone calls. I had some stuff going on this weekend. Some people, I was taking some people to the movie theater. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, where's my phone at? And my dad said, oh, what's up with your report card, son? I said, oh, man, Dad, blah, blah, blah. And I was making excuses. And he said, look, man, when you was in private school, I paid for that. Now you got to pay for this. So you're paying for your phone line, but I'm going to teach you a valuable lesson. No phone for you for a month. I said, what? Dad, but I got stings. He said, no, you can't go out for 2 months. I said, what? So I had no phone for a month. Couldn't go out for 2 months. Now, everything popping off. I'm trying to get out, go mingle. I can't go out. Now, you're probably saying, what does it have to do with crypto? You learn it's getting somewhere. You know what I found out? I said, Dad, you told me that, I stuck my chest in. You told me that when I pay my own phone bill, I can be the boss and do what I need to do. He said, yeah, Robert, but right now you're not doing what you need to do. So, yeah, that phone is no longer in here. And, yeah, you better pay that bill. Because, back in then, the bill was connected to the other phone. Even though I had my own line, it was still under. He said, you still better pay that bill. So you're probably saying, you learn, what does it have anything to do with crypto? What does it have anything to do with the market is doing? You learn, what does this have anything to do with what's going on? You got to understand this. Technology shifting. Technology is moving. Technology is changing before our eyes. And here's the thing I would recommend. Not financial investment advice, but I would recommend you taking heed of what's going on. Maybe I'm not the person for you, and it's okay. It's okay. But I would recommend that you learn this subject, because just like that little dime looking CD and it became an iPod, you got to understand transition is going to happen. Now we don't even welcome in. We don't even utilize the things that we have now. We don't even have to worry about what's going on now. You know why? Because so many things are happening so quick. So many things. Think about it. We got cars that you can plug up, y'all. We got cars that can fly right now. Y'all got to understand, technology's happened so fast. If you have not seen Elon Musk, you may like him or you may not like him, but you got to respect him. One of the wealthiest men in the United States, one of the wealthiest men in the world. You got to understand one thing he said. He said this. Y'all listening? Come closer. Let me explain to you what Elon said. Not financial investment advice. But Elon had the mitigated gall to say, I'm going to take Dogecoin to the moon. Now we got a department named Doge. Not financial investment advice. If you pick it up, pick it up. When Dogecoin came on a platform, I looked at it and it was under, 0.000 some zeros, right? And I remember a buddy of mine was like, yeah, I'm investing in this. And I said, why? And he said, because Elon Musk in it. I said, say no more. Boom. That was just that quick. Why? Because popularity breeds key, right? Popularity makes something happen. Now, my members can tell you one thing, right? My members can tell you I've been giving banger value. Someone asked me, they said, where you been, you learn? I said, I've been here. You just got to go into membership. I've been literally throwing them some sauce. I'm talking about sauce. I'm talking about XRP ran from under 40 cents all the way to up to $2 and some change. Sauce. H bar ran from where it was all the way up. Sauce. I've been giving them sauce. Why? Because I said, okay, look, here's the problem. A lot of us want free information. There's nothing wrong. I give out information all the time. I don't mind showing up for people. I give out value all the time. But here's the difference. Imagine you're going to the movie theater, right? So this is the movie theater, right? M&T, just for argument's sake, I'm in a membership with them. And I got to go back, to them and check something out. I got a membership with them, right? I was one of their first members over there, right? Because I knew that one day I was going to have my own membership, right? And I said to myself, first of all, I like their content. That's why I wanted to connect with them. But I said to myself, how can I expect somebody to join me if I don't connect with anybody else, right? So I joined a lot of different memberships because I respected the host, the people, the people who were there, what they were doing. They had good family values, good morals. They had good ethics. So I respected that. So I attached myself to that. But I said, well, how do they run their lives? How do they do this? So I was learning from them. And because I was learning from them, I said, I got value. So I tapped into that value. I said, let me put some resources into that because I tapped in to the value of what they were given. You see what I'm saying? So here's the thing. What I did was I said, when I got my memberships, I said, let me go ahead and give more value. I'm going to give 10 times more value than I give free out here. Why? Because I wanted people to feel like their money was being well spent. I wanted people to, oh no, thank you all. I appreciate you and your husband. I appreciate you all. Or I don't know who's on. No, so I know who's on now. I appreciate your husband and you because you said earlier what you said earlier. You said my husband and I. So I know who it is. Okay, so if y'all don't know, if you have not connected with M&T Living and Cooking, husband and wife, they cook, they do a lot of awesome stuff. Okay, I know it was the missus. Well, by what you said, my husband and I was dating. The last thing I was like, yeah, okay, so yeah, they're cool people. So here's the thing, they do well over there, right? So I said, okay, how do they do this? Cruise, exactly. Okay, yeah, there you go. Got you. So I said, what are they doing? How are they able to do this? And I had to learn. So I said, let me go ahead and tap into that. Now, I'm going to tell you, hey, Country Hustle, what's up? Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Not financial investment advice, but I'm going to tell you some things. Now, how do you research a crypto? Number one, you got to ask yourself, what type of business does it serve? Now, someone asked earlier, they just went straight for the jugular. They said, hey, what's the best crypto you have? Cosmic Echoes. Now, I haven't seen Cosmic Echoes. Are you still here, Cosmic Echoes? I just want to know. And I'm not trying to, be facetious or anything when saying this. If you're still here, say something in the chat because I'm about to say something in about a couple of moments. And I understand that there's generally a lag by or something. But we're going to talk about how to research a crypto, okay? Now, one thing about it, I always take notes. And this says you got this, right? I always take notes and things of that nature. I always make sure that I'm giving value to the people that I serve. Why? Because first of all, your time is the most precious asset that you have. And one thing I found out is if you don't, you can't get your time back, right? You can't get your time back. Your time, once it's lost, right? So I want to make sure that the people who spend or redeem the time with me, that they get the value that they deserve. So I said to myself, I'm going to make sure that my members get 10 times more value than I give out on this platform. However, you're going to start seeing me do more lives. As you can see, if you've seen, the office, I've did some things in the office, things of that nature. But you got to understand how you research crypto. If you can take notes, take notes. If you can't, the video will be up for you to take notes later. I understand that some people are at work, some people are out and about, some people are enjoying themselves, things of that nature. But I appreciate each and every one of you. First of all, what kind of business does it serve? You'll ask yourself, what type of business does this cryptocurrency serve, right? When you ask yourself what type of business does this cryptocurrency serve, you say, okay, does the crypto and just to reiterate, and I'm not trying to call anybody out because I understand people got a lot going on. Cosmic Echoes asked a question. They wanted an answer, but as soon as they got the answer, they were gone. Now, the thing I'm saying is we're building a skyscraper here. This is not a shack. This is a skyscraper. Skyscrapers have to go down deep, right? And it has to go up high, right? And the reason why it has to go deep, miles and miles long, deep in the ground, a proper foundation, is because when shifting happens, it can sway. It can sway in the wind and not break. It can bend and not break. It can do things. That's why we're building a skyscraper. So understanding something, it says a confused mind and never do nothing. So understanding what's going on will allow you the opportunity to make something happen. Understanding how things happen will give you the opportunity to make things happen. But you got to understand a thing to do a thing. So you understand what type of businesses it serve. Meaning, is this cryptocurrency out in the market doing banking? Is it a meme coin? Meaning it's just, like just something funny, is the cryptocurrency something that's going with gaming or banking or transactions or peer-to-peer lending? Understanding what that crypto does. You're breaking it down again. What is the market cap of the crypto? Meaning, what is a market cap? The total supply times the price, the market cap. How much, bottom line, for layman's term, how much money is in this crypto? How many other people put their money in this crypto? Understanding the crypto, okay? Is it a fad or is it a fidget spinner? Now, no shade to anybody who still got fidget spinners, but the people know me. I was over youth, middle, and, went to a mega ministry. We had, a lot of youth. They had to separate departments, elementary, middle, and high, because there's so many youth, couldn't put them all together. So my middle school department, I would notice kids would bring these things to spin around, fidget spinner, not financial investment advice. And I was like, what is this? So the kid's like, hey, Mr. Rob, it's a fidget spinner. I said, okay, what's a fidget spinner? They started explaining, and it was spinning this thing. And then I saw some high school kids, and I saw a lot of elementary kids with it. I'm like, good gracious. Everybody at church got these fidget spinners. And then it went to a point where everybody had fidget spinners, and then it went from nowhere. And then only, let's say 80% of the people had them. Then they went from 80% to about 20% to about 10%. And then 10% who had it, people were joking on them. So, you carrying a fidget spinner? And I had to say, look, some people carry the fidget spinner because what is it meant for? I said, so we're not going to joke on anybody if they got a fidget spinner because we don't know what's going on with them. So we're not going to joke. So the people who finally stopped carrying it, it was probably maybe 1% of the people carrying it. I just let them carry it because I knew why they needed a fidget spinner. Understand. But I say, is it a fad or is it a fidget spinner? And I'm not trying to pick on anyone who uses a fidget spinner. I'm just using this as an example of popularity. Meaning, is it popular or is it a fad? Like I'm saying, is the 8-track tape player popular right now? And probably maybe for older generations, people like myself and I call us more seasoned veterans, an 8-track tape player for nostalgia would be something cool. But for the younger generation, they wouldn't even know what to do with it, know how to plug it up, know what it was to even figure it out. So I would say an 8-track tape player is a fad right now, right? Meaning it's something that's going to go on and out. So understanding how to research your crypto, not financial investment advice, is it popular? Are people talking about it? Have you heard about Bitcoin? And the answer is yes. I've heard about Bitcoin, probably 60% of the people, even my grandma who heard about Bitcoin, even my 75-plus-year-old uncle that heard about Bitcoin, right? Most people have heard about Bitcoin. Now, have people heard about Dogecoin? Probably not. They might have because of Elon. Have people heard about Shiba Inu? Probably because of its popularity. Has people heard about HBAR? Probably not. But because it wasn't popular doesn't mean it won't have purpose, Remember, we're looking at what type of market does it serve, how much money's in it, and is it a fad or a crypto? Now you want to look at my son's into it. Oh yeah, most definitely, most definitely. Now, not financial investment advice, but we're looking at how many coins does it have? How much coins or total supply does it have? Now, here's the thing. The U.S. national debt is between, let's just say, 56 to 60 trillion dollars, not billion, trillion dollars. Let's just round it up to 60 trillion. Let's just say it's 60 trillion for argument's sake, right? The U.S. debt. Now I have other people who are looking at me from different places of the world, all types of places. Y'all, I service a lot of people, but just for now, because you can understand, the U.S. debt is about $60 trillion, right? So I take that as a litmus test, right? Does this crypto have more than 60 trillion coins? Okay. If it has 100 trillion coins, do I think this crypto can get to $1? Now, if the debt has not been paid, $60 trillion, if the debt has not been paid of the U.S. national debt to zero, if that crypto got to $1, that means it would have been greater than U.S. debt and probably slim to none as it relates to will that crypto become popular? Will that crypto get above $1? So that's my litmus test, not financial investment advice. That's what I use to ask myself that question. Welcome in, welcome in. So I asked that question. I asked, that question. How many coins? Now, if it has, 1 billion coins, if it gets to $1, it's a possibility, right? It's a possibility. So I might take a swing at something. And I appreciate everybody who's come in and shared out the video and, gave likes and things of that nature. But when it comes down to it, you got to understand a couple things. Okay, what type of information is it out there? What type of information? Who is servicing the information? What type of information do they have out there? Who's saying what about this crypto? Now, the fun thing about cryptocurrency is this. A lotto ticket, and there's no shade from anyone who scratches and does that. I don't do it. I have played it, but I don't do it. You know what I'm saying? Thing about a lotto is once you scratch off that ticket, it's gone, right? It's gone. If you win, you won, but the odds of you losing is greater than the odds of you winning, right? No shade against anyone who does it. Okay, by the way, it's not about that. It's just giving an example. The thing about picking the numbers is you got to go every day, right? You got to go every day, or you can do one ticket. You can do any, all, and all these other variations. You know what I'm saying? I was like, man, that's crazy. That's complicated. So yeah, you play the numbers for the week, but you got to go the next week to play the numbers. But you know the thing I found out about crypto, right? The thing I found out about crypto is if you put $20 in, you ain't got to play those numbers again next week. You ain't got to get another ticket. You just let that ticket keep going, meaning it just keeps going until you pull it out. If it goes up, it goes up. If it goes down, it goes down. But here's the great part about it. Necessarily, generally speaking, if you go through the process and steps of proper research, you're not necessarily going to be a zero, right? Not financial investment advice. So once I figure out what type of information to have, I ask myself, is it a short-term investment? Meaning, am I going to be in and out in, 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, 5 hours, a day, less than a week, 2 weeks, less than a month? Am I going to be in and out of this? Is it short, mid, or long, right? Midterm, a year, little 6 months to a year, midterm. Long term, a year plus. So I ask myself, what type of things? Now, here's the thing. Now, you can be in some cryptos, and I'll give you an example, not financial investment advice. A buddy of mine called me, and I saw that Trump had a coin. Now, before I lose some of y'all, okay, because some of y'all saying, oh, this ain't about who you voted for, or who you care about. This ain't that situation, okay? Understand, when it comes to money, money that has no emotions. Money can do a couple things. It can help or it can hinder. Money only magnifies the person you really are. So if you are a bad person, you're going to be a bad person, even worse with money. If you're a good person, you got to be careful because the temptation to do other things with money will allow you the opportunity to do that. So you got to understand who you really are, and you got to stay grounded and rooted in God. That's just my opinion. Okay. So when it comes down to it, a buddy of mine, I was on the phone with him and I said, yo, Trump got a coin coming out. It was 2 days before the election. He said, ain't no way, ain't no way. I said, bro, I said, it's up to you. I said, I'm just telling you, not financial investment advice. I'm talking to you like I would literally talk to a friend, okay? Because I consider y'all friends, okay? So I said, bro, it's not financial investment advice, but you know, I'm gonna go ahead and get some. So I got some. I ain't say nothing else about it. Okay. Another buddy of mine called, the buddy who, my dad was cool with, he's still cool with, and he was like, real good friend. He said, Rob, you heard about Trump coins? I was about to call you next. He said, yeah, I jumped in. I said, I jumped in it. That's bet. That's facts. Under $6, let's just say $8 to $10. Okay. 8 to 10. Let's give you an $8 to $10 range. Okay. It was in. Now I had the ability to understand that just off of the popularity. Remember, I asked the question, what type of businesses serve? I put it in the meme coin category because that's just off his brand, right? What type of market cap is it? I knew anything related to him was going to make money because he was about to take office. That was common sense to me, right? What is it a fad or is it popular? His popularity was going to make the coin great, right? So I said, okay, what was the supply? I didn't really care about the supply because I knew because his name, he was going to make people make some money, right? Was it a short, midterm, or long-term investment? I said, okay, I'm going to do this, this, and this. It went up from under $10 all the way to about $60. And I was like, well, gotta go. Called a buddy of mine, yo, you know what time it is. I'm out. So I pulled some off the table, not financial investment advice, on the up end. And I knew it was going to come down. And because if I get a balloon with helium in it and I let it go, you ever had it, been somewhere, like my twin nieces, they had a birthday party, put a balloon on their hand, they playing, and then the balloon goes, and they, oh, my balloon, they crying because the balloon done went in the air. Oh, Uncle Robert, balloon, Uncle Robert. So you got to give them another balloon, tying the balloon on their hand. Hey, and I'm putting it a little tighter, right? But here's the thing about that balloon. It can go up, but it's going to come down because the helium is going to come down. So I understood that I need to pull something off the table for a short-term investment. Then his wife, Melania, had a coin. Melania, I'm sorry. I apologize for, enunciating it wrong. She, and irregardless if you voted for the person or not, we have to respect people, okay? Irregardless. So Melania, she had a coin. Called the same buddy. He said, you already know what time it is. I called the other friend. He was like, man, ain't no way. Okay, cool. So did what I had to do. Did the same thing with that. Now, midterm. Did what it did. I'm still holding for the long term. Why? Because I got my money on the front end. That's paying for my long-term investment, right? Then I put some more money into the stock market. You got to understand, you have to make a decision of what you want to do, right? And once it's an example of that. So I found out that if I just take the emotion out of it, emotions make you cry sometimes, right? If I just take the emotions out of something, I can do what I need to do. You know what I found out? Same buddy of mine, he called me and said, Rob, man, I missed that opportunity. I missed that opportunity, bro. He said, man, and we've known each other for years. And he's like, man, I missed that opportunity. He said, man, why didn't you tell me? Why wasn't you adamant about it? I said, I was. I told you, okay. I said, okay. I always tell people, now, you don't have to, like, okay, M&T Living, they are married. They're a married couple, right? Here's the thing about crypto. You don't have to be married to that investment. Now, yeah, M&T need to make sure they stay faithful to each other, right? But you don't have to be married to that crypto. Meaning you can be in and out as you please and as you wish, right? You don't have to be faithful to that crypto. You don't have to meet me at the altar with your white dress. You don't have to sing the Jagged Edge song going down the aisle long ago, singing that Luther song. Do you want to be in love with me? You don't have to do the Luther. Do you want to be? Oh, you want to be? Well. You don't have to do that with the crypto, right? You can choose what you want. You can choose to be in and out. You can choose to have a midterm or a long-term investment. Yes, too many people make decisions based off emotions and emotional reacting. Always good to take a step back and think logically with common sense and to take out the emotion. Exactly, Consumer Goodness. Exactly. Exactly. So as it relates to that, right? It's a situation where you got to understand those things, right? 28 years, I believe. Exact. Congratulations, M&T. Congratulations. Congratulations, consuming goodness as well. Congratulations, married people. I salute y'all. So as it relates to anything, right? The thing about crypto though, you don't have to be in it for 28 years, right? Now, M&T, better make sure they do what you can do. Consume the goodness, y'all better make sure y'all do what you got to do, right? Right? Because I believe in the sanctity of marriage, right? You got to do what you got to do. You got to make sure you stay faithful to your commitment. However, when it comes to crypto and stocks, you can make the decision the way you want to make it. You can say, you know what? You got a great things to say. No, I appreciate you, consumer goodness. I appreciate both of you. I appreciate everybody's in here. You know what I'm saying? So you got to understand you have the ability to make your generation great. Now I can talk about Consume the Goodness and M&T because I've been to their channels, so that's why I'm using this as an example, and I hope they don't mind. They have children, right? So what I'm going to say is this: Mrs. T, she said, and I'm sorry, that her son, fine young man, great gentleman, great person, her son invests in crypto. Now I want you to imagine that you took something, right? Consume the goodness. You took some resources and you planted a seed, because it's just a seed, y'all. And you planted a seed, and that seed grew. See, here's the thing about faith. Faith without works is dead. Lord, I believe that you're going to do it. I believe, Lord. But he said, hey, I'm going to tell you something. Do me a favor. Lady said, all right, something happened to my family member. He's no longer here. She was booing and weeping. And the prophet said to her, hey, come here. Let me talk to you real quick. He said, what you got to eat in your house? And she's like, I'm going to make this cake and we're going to be out. I'm paraphrasing it, y'all. If you know, you know. If you don't get down with that, it's okay. Because I'm showing you something that I've learned, and I'm putting it in principle of today. So, hey. So she said, oh, I'm going to make this last cake and we just going to be out of here. And then the prophet said, all right, whatever. Didn't even really say to her discomfort. My husband planted the seeds of savings. That's what I'm talking about. So she said, yes. Oh. And he said, you know what? Thank you, Miss Gigi. Excellent information. Emotions to the side and make the bag. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, Miss Gigi. Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate the super chat. So she said, hey, we're going to do this. Prophet said, maybe some food. So she cooked for the dude, cooked for the prophet, came over. And he said, all right, now that I'm fed and I'm full, hey, what you got in your house? And she said, what do you mean? I told you what I got in my house. He said, you got some jars? Got a couple jars. Hey, he said, do me a favor. Go ask your neighbors for some jars. And he said, just don't ask for a little bit of jars. Ask for a lot of them. So the neighbor, I'm sure she knocked on the door. Excuse me, do you have some jars? And she got the jars. And she went to the next neighbor. Now he said, don't ask for a little bit, ask for some jars. So I'm sure she went around town and people like, why she got this buggy and got this wagon and got all these jars? And he told her, all right, now that you got these, close the door. Because I'm sure people was peeking in her window. Who's that peeping through my window now? So peeping through a window trying to figure out what the heck she was doing to all those jars. He said, close it. Now she said, I have a jar and a little bit of oil, by the way. So he closed the door, and she kept pouring. And she was telling her sons, hey, boy, give me that jar. You're pouring. Hey, other son, give me the other jar. She kept pouring the oil. I'm getting somewhere, y'all. I'm getting somewhere. I promise you I'm getting somewhere. And he kept pouring the oil. And she said, give me another jar. And son said, Mom, we ain't got no more. Hey, Wellness. We ain't got no more. We ain't got no more jars. She said, we ain't got no more jars. We ain't got no more jars. And he said, what? Now, I want you to imagine something. Now, I'm gonna go to that part. But the prophet came back. He said, hey, go sell this oil. Remember, oil was the commodity of the day, right? So I got my light off, right? This was oil. You see, I got bright. Hey, thank you so much, M&T. I appreciate you. This was the oil. It made the lights happen, right? The oil made the lights happen, right? The oil was the commodity to make light, okay? He said, go sell the oil and you'll have enough revenue to pay off your debts and stuff. Now, here's the thing. A lot of us are afraid to go invest in our company or our brand, are afraid to make that next decision because we know that that money is going to be tied up in this asset. Afraid to do that ebook, that course, that marketing situation, open that new office, and we're afraid. And you know what I found out? I found out that when you make that step, some things will happen. You know, I remember growing up, and a lot of you know this, and a lot of you don't. But I'm going to take you behind the curtain a little bit. Growing up, you know, my grandmother sold insurance. My father sold insurance. My mother sold insurance. So guess what I did when I turned 18? I got my insurance license. A week after I turned 18, I got my insurance license. So I remember, you know, when it was time for me, you know, to transition out of the state. I moved out of state. The same state that my family was in, I moved out of state. And, you know, I got a promotion actually to, if you were here earlier, I got a promotion to go to the store, you know, sell cell phones. Got a promotion because I kept being number one in the call center. So I got a promotion, got a raise, things like that. So I'm there. My mother, she had the whole bottom floor office. She had the biggest office in the building, right? So I did not know this. But you know what I found out? You know, I found out that she said, Robert, I'm going to open an office in the state that you're going. I said, cool. That's what's up. So she opened the office in the state I was going because I moved and transitioned to where I was going. But she was not going to do it. Now, my parents, you know, had offices, had teams and things of that nature. My mother was third from the top of the highest rank you can get in the organization and the insurance place that we sold. My dad was up there. My grandma, we you know, we were moving and shaking it. That's a whole nother subject. But you know, she said, Robert, I wasn't going to open that office until you told me that you were going to do that. She said, I wasn't going to make that decision, but thank you. Now, she was able to build out that office and do things like that. Do you know, my mom had so many residuals that when she left, you know, the organization from selling insurance, she still got residual checks for years and years and years after she left. See, a lot of us are waiting on something to happen, but we don't understand our faith is tied to a residual. Our faith is tied to a residual on what will happen. See, guys, say plant that seed right now. I don't care what it is. I don't care what it is that you're supposed to do. I don't care what it is that you are wanting to do. I found out that if you just step out and do something. See, we're so afraid to, oh, I want to keep my little money into my pocket. Oh, no. Carol, welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. We're so afraid to step out. Make that video. Make that course. Make that thing. Oh, I'm tired. It's been a long day. I don't want to do this no more. I know God told me to do this, but you learn. What does this got to do with crypto? I'm going somewhere, y'all. We're so afraid to make that decision. God is waiting on us. And maybe you don't believe in God, and that's you. I do. I can't help who I am. M&T is speaking to Wellness and Carol. That's who I am. I can't help who I am. And guess what? I can only, Wellness is saying hello to Carol. I can only be who I am. And you can only be who you are. There is something that is inside of you that only you can do. And I'm telling you, I'm just telling y'all straight up. If you look at what technology is going, if you don't get ahead of it, you're going to be behind it. And you're going to say, I remember this guy named You Learn with Robert. Robert, this is so timely. My husband and I took a leap of faith in starting something about 5 months ago, and I can believe see the benefits. I keep pushing and believing it will be success. Amen. That's what. See. I'm just going with the flow of the spirit right now. Same to my channel. Thank you for the encouragement. Oh yeah. I'm just listening to what God is telling me right now, because I had to shift because I heard something and I had to say it. Okay. But what I'm saying to y'all is this. You got robots. If you look, I want y'all to Google this for real. I literally want y'all to Google this. If you haven't seen, Tesla had the cyber event, and I posted it for my members. I think I had it on the platform, but they had a cyber event, and the robots were driving the cars for the people. Hear me. The robot, which is a robot car, was driving the people. Now people say, well, they were told they weren't really talking, and this, and this. Can I ask y'all a question? When have y'all been at a job but they want y'all to fraternize and talk with each other? For real. I'll wait. They want y'all to sit at the water cooler when you're supposed to be working. They want y'all to have conversation and not be productive. When have y'all known a job that don't want y'all to be productive? Come on now. They want you to be productive, right? So understand, people are saying, oh, these robots weren't talking. They were in another room talking through the robot. But here's the question. Was the robot actually driving the car? And the answer was yes. Exactly. Amen. Destined for greatness at consumers. Exactly. Yes, it will be a success. Exactly. And everything. And all that getting understanding. Faith without works is dead. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. And here's the thing about those robots. They were serving drinks. And they were out, mingling with the crowd. Don't touch me. You had to give a little, thank you, Carol. Thank you, Wellness. You had to give a little space. Y'all got to understand this. We already see it as self-checkout at the grocery stores. I personally like human interaction. I like to go and speak to someone. If I go to Whole Foods, I want to talk to somebody. I want to say, hey, how are you doing today? I want to, talk to somebody and actually interact with them. I don't want to be like, well, computer, you touching the computer. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? I want to interact. But here's the thing. Computers, they work. They don't get mad at what the last person said. They don't get mad at the person having 100 groceries. And they don't get mad because you learned Robert wanted to make sure he put his fish in a different bag than he put his drinks in. They don't get mad at that. They just work. Understand those robots. Tesla cyber event. The Cybertruck. The Tesla, robots. It's called Optimus. Knowing what Optimus means, by the way. Understand that a lot of people, this comes back around to whatever you're saying about emotion. Robots don't have emotion. They're doing the job. Exactly. A lot of people, because I'm going to be real with you, a lot of people who are in the security space, a robot patrolling, a lot of people who are drivers, a robot. It's going to be a lot of wealthy people have robots because robots don't tell their business. Do you ever notice it'll be somebody worth billions of dollars or hundreds of millions of dollars and somebody no longer works with them and all of a sudden they like, yeah, and so said this and then what are you doing? You had a job and now that you don't have the job, you're running your mouth. Now, of course, somebody doing something wrong, I believe you should say something because you need to have integrity. But what I'm saying is certain conversations about somebody's private life is not meant for the internet. But ain't got to worry about the robot saying nothing. They ain't got to worry about that robot, doing something improper. Guess what? The robot going to pick up who it needs to pick up, come to home. It's going to mow the grass, going to do that. And they're painting the picture of robots are going to be able to watch your kids and and cut your lawn and manicure your flowers and it's going to be able to pick your garden for you while you just do nothing. But you're not understanding how you're going to make revenue. How are you going to make money? How's your wealth going to transform? Everyone on here, I've been looking, and most of the people on here are content creators, so I'm going to shift into this. If you're a content creator, you need to have an ebook somebody can download. You need to have and work on a course. You need to work on something like that. Even if you are going to do something as it pertains to someone having a face-to-face situation, right? It is messed up because people, this is a problem. We need to learn when certain emotions are appropriate and when it's not. But most people don't do that. So they want a robot to do it just exactly, consumer goodness. So we got to start creating. And what I'm saying to you is this: you need to be in a creative mode. Okay? Creative mode. And I'm just throwing out ideas. Okay? I'm just throwing out ideas. You catch it, you catch it. You don't, you don't. Fitness space. Have a fitness course. Have a course on fitness. You know, when it comes to, how to start in the miniatures, have a miniature course, right? And when it comes to, cooking, have a cooking one-on-one course. When it comes to, real estate and things of that nature. A lot of people don't know this about me, and I really didn't share it publicly because it really didn't matter. I was a licensed realtor since 2014, 2015. 2016 roughly, and yeah, it was about 2016. Started studying in 2015. And you got to understand, I decided to transition out of that atmosphere for a couple reasons, and I'm not going to say it publicly as it relates to why. For me, number one, if you're in that space, start making courses on beginner real estate agents, what they should do. A lot of people don't know. I was, in a place, we sold over $1 billion of real estate. We're number one in our area, $1 billion worth of real estate. So, when it comes down to it, I'm telling you, new realtors need this information. So if you're a licensed realtor, hey, and the real estate or a broker, give that information, give them value, the mistakes you learn, start creating courses, ebooks, guides, start doing things like that. If you're gardening, beginner gardening course, I'm telling you, information needs to be out there, because I'm telling you where the world is going. Because a lot of us may not invest in crypto. You might say, you know what, I like Elon Robert, he's a cool guy, I like what he has to say, but I just don't know about this crypto. And that's okay. But you got to ask yourself this question: how are you going to make resources? And the purpose is to get ahead of a thing before you get behind of it. Okay? The purpose is, because here's the thing about a course: you create it once, you take your time and create it, and guess what happens? That course continues to pay residual over and over. That book pays you residual over and over. That ebook gives you emails to come into your system to allow you to pay over and over, so that you can continue to talk to those people who service you. Okay, there was a lot of people who talked about another platform that went dark, and people were going to different platforms because that platform was no longer valid. They didn't have a way to communicate with their people. Even if you have it as a way to communicate with your people, just in case something happens, then you have the ability to do that. Has nothing to do with crypto or stocks. I'm just throwing this tidbit of information in because I wanted to share it with you, because I was seeing who was in the room, and I just wanted to share it as an end result. But my personal opinion as it relates to crypto, I talked about how to research crypto. I talked about what type of businesses served. The market, is it popular? What type of coin is it? I talked about how many, is it a mid? How many coins does it have? Mid, short, or long? What's the risk reward ratio? What percentage of your portfolio are you using? How much are you willing to invest? You shouldn't put 100% of your portfolio in Bitcoin. You should have a diversified portfolio. I do that with stocks as well. You got to understand diversification is the key. Understanding that when you put money and your resources out, it's very important to make sure that it's going to grow. Now, some things in the portfolio will retract, and you might say, okay, now it's time for you to reevaluate. If you notice, well, I don't know, this thing, it ain't doing what it's supposed to do. So you reevaluate it. Should I what's called dollar cost average into that cryptocurrency? Should I dollar cost average into that cryptocurrency and put more money in it to lower my initial investment? Should I, not financial investment advice, should I sell some and get another crypto that's performing, or should I wait it out long term? That's when you're doing those type of things. So I've been on for quite some time. I want to know if anyone has any additional questions for me. If you have any questions, it's one of those speak now for hold your peace moments. I wanted to go in and actually share with you some things. Like I said, I've been here. I've been in the background. My members can tell you I've been posting hot fire content back there in the back of the membership for a long time. If you have any questions or anything you wanted to ask, feel free to go ahead and drop it right here. I'll be more than willing to answer it if I can. Some questions may be a question I have to put in the parking lot and answer later. But if you have any questions, let me know. If not, I want to give you a moment, and I'm going to wait to see if anything pops up. And if it doesn't, what I'm going to do in probably the next 10 seconds, because I know it's a lag in the next 10 seconds, if no one has any questions, I'm going to go ahead and get off here. I've been here almost an hour and 30 minutes, and I appreciate each and every one of you who come in, who popped in and out, who've given, who've shared the live, who've, talked about me. I appreciate even the people who talked about me, the people who commented, talked to each other, connected with each other. Yes, Robert. Okay. Yes, Robert. I have started researching a couple of topics you are speaking on. Thank you. No, I thank you, Miss Carol. The bottom line for us is this. If we don't make a move, guess what? Never going to happen. We all have something that we're supposed to do. We all have something that we're destined for. We all have something that we have the ability to press forward in the next level. We all have been called to do something. Maybe you're called to do something, maybe to change this particular atmosphere that you're in as relates to the people you service. Whatever it is, we're all called to something, and we have to tap into the potential. Because one thing I'm telling you is, things are going to happen. Now, if you want to connect with me even more, I have the membership. You're able to join the membership if that's something you like. It is there. I've literally been giving hot fire information to my members. So if you want to tap into the membership, it's there. If not, that's fine. Also, as it relates to anything else, I've been on other platforms putting out content as well. Just been out there trying to service the people in which I know it's going to happen. See, I know some things are going to happen. I sent a couple of videos to a couple of people of something I did 2 years ago. God shared something with me, and I did that 2 years ago, and it came to pass. What I'm telling y'all is just like that video I shared and happened 2 years ago. I'm telling y'all, it's time to get ahead of your destiny. Once again, this is Learn Robert. Thank you so much, and I appreciate each and every one of you. M&T, appreciate you. Miss Carol, appreciate you. Consume the Goodness, I appreciate you. Wellness for Frugal Mama, I appreciate you. I appreciate you, Miss Gigi. I appreciate your husband as well. I appreciate each and every one of you. I appreciate everyone who's come in. JoJo, people who've come in, and Cosmic Echoes, everyone who's come in, Miss Tracy, Jaden, anyone who's come in, Emmanuel, I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much. You learned Robert. We'll see you in the next level of greatness. We'll talk to you later. All right, bye now.